Greetings! Welcome to Saint of the Week, the show where we choose one saint's feast day from this week and discuss their life and their impact on the church. The saint for this week is Saint Rose Philippine Duchesne, whose feast day is November 20th, this Monday.
Rose was born in Grenoble, France, on August 29, 1769, the second of 7 daughters and 1 son. Her father was a prominent lawyer, and she was educated in the monastery of Sainte Marie de Hon, known for its social status of its members. When she began to show an attraction to the religious life, her father quickly pulled her out of the school and had her tutored at home.
In 1788, Rose decided to join the religious order of the Visitation of Holy Mary, despite her family's opposition. The monastery was shut down, however, in 1792 during the French Revolution's reign of terror. Rose returned to her family and lived with 2 of her aunts who had also been members of the order. She attempted to continue living the Visitandine rule while also serving her family and the victims of the reign of terror.
In 1801, when Napoleon ruled France, the Catholic Church was finally allowed to operate openly again. Rose returned to the monastery, which was now in shambles, and attempted to re-establish it. A few of the nuns, including the Mother Superior, returned for a while, but they eventually left again, finding the monastic life too difficult in their old age. Finally, Rose was made Mother Superior and left with only 3 companions.
In northern France, Madeleine Sophie Barat was founding the Society of the Sacred Heart. She wanted to establish a community in Grenoble, and after being encouraged by her spiritual director, she traveled there in 1804 and met Rose. Madeleine Sophie offered to merge their communities together into the Society of the Sacred Heart, and Rose accepted. The 2 communities had a similar charism to that of the Visitandines, but the society was not cloistered.
After the end of the Napoleonic Wars, in 1815, Rose moved to Paris and established a community there, opening a school and becoming mistress of novices. 2 years later, Bishop William de Bourgh of Louisiana arrived at the convent, requesting educators to help evangelize the Native American children in his diocese. Rose had always wanted to travel to America, having heard stories from missionaries ever since she was a child, and quickly begged permission from Madeleine Sophie to go with Bishop de Bourgh.
In 1818, with Mother Barat's blessing, Rose and 4 other sisters of the society traveled to the United States. They landed in New Orleans after 10 weeks at sea, but quickly discovered that Bishop de Bourgh had made no arrangements for their housing. They briefly stayed with the Ursuline nuns, then traveled up the Mississippi River to St. Charles in Missouri Territory. There they established a new convent for the Society of the Sacred Heart, the first one to be built outside of France. The following year, the community moved across the river to Florissant, Missouri, where they opened a school and a novitiate.
Even though the new congregation faced many trials, such as lack of funding, poor housing, hunger, harsh weather, and the struggling to learn the English language, the society spread to 6 communities, and they opened several schools. In 1841, the Jesuits asked the sisters to join them in a new mission in the Potawatomi Indians in eastern Kansas. Rose joined them, but she was unable to master the Indians' language, and so she could not teach. Because of this, she would spend her time in constant prayer, earning the Indian name Woman Who Prays Always.
Rose was only able to spend a year among the Potawatomi before she had to return to St. Charles because of poor health. She spent the last 10 years of her life in a tiny room under a stairway, lonely, frail, and going blind. She passed away on November 18, 1852, at the age of 83. Her body is incorrupt, and she is the patron saint of the Diocese of Springfield-Cape Girardeau, and for perseverance amid adversity.
Rose Philippine Duchesne is characterized by her fierce determination and relentless will, braving the American wilderness for the glory of God and the salvation of souls. Even when she was unable to physically assist with the mission, she gave of herself through constant prayer. She shows that even when it seems like we can do nothing, we can always provide help through the power of prayer. Saint Rose Philippine Duchesne, pray for us.
Our honorable mentions for this week are Saint Agnes of Assisi, Saint Gelasius, Saint Cecilia, Blessed Miguel Agustin Pro, St. Andrew Dunglack and Companions, and St. Catherine of Alexandria. And of course, there are thousands of other saints who undoubtedly have their feast days this week, but there are so many of them that there is no way we could list them all here.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Saint of the Week. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Peace be to you.